Today we're going to dive deeper into the vertical transition pack for LumaFusion. All of the information is down below in the description, or you can find the information on RobHKvlogs.com. So in today's tutorial, we're going to put together an Instagram reel using LumaFusion, the transitions and photos. If you don't want to use photos, you can use videos, of course. Now, before we head over to the iPad, if this is the first time that you are here, welcome. Really nice to see that you stopped by any of my videos. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. That would be appreciated as we're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Now, with that said, let's head over to the iPad. So this is the brand new vertical transition pack for LumaFusion, and this contains more than 80 transitions for your vertical videos, whether you upload YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook, Twitter videos, or TikTok videos. You can really spice up your photos and your videos by using these transitions. So in today's tutorial, we're gonna just start with something basic, and we're gonna create an awesome Instagram Reel. So instead of uploading some static images, you might as well take a bunch of the awesome photos that you took and put them into a reel and really spice it up with some zoom transitions or some pump transitions or some other slide transitions. So for this, we are going to use a zoom transition, and we're going to create a really awesome Instagram reel with some overlays. So we're going to select the two parts here, which is A and B. This is a basic zoom in and out transition, and we're going to multi-select this with the multi-selection tool and choose the clipboard and copy. Now we're going to go over to our project. So whether this is a project that you have already put together, or if it's an empty project that you start with, just like this one, it doesn't really matter. You can use these transitions in any way, whether you have an empty or filled up timeline. So we're going to go over to this and choose the clipboard and paste. And now we have our transition pasted. So we're going to find the photos that we want to use, and here we have some car photos, so we're just going to drag those over to the timeline. And to start with, we're going to find a point of the first clip where we want the transition to start. So we're going to move the transitions here a little bit into the first clip here, so we have something to, show before the transition actually starts. But this is completely individual, so if you want to start it right away, feel free to do so. All up to you how you want to make your videos. So after selecting the placement of the transition, the first part of the transition, we're going to go over to the center in between the transition layer A and B, and then we're going to make a cut to the clip, which is on track number 1. And after making this cut, we're going to make sure that we unlink everything so it's a little bit easier to work with. I don't recommend that you disable the clip snapping if you don't have a filled up timeline already. If your timeline is filled up, then you might as well disable the clip snapping to make it a little bit easier so you don't move things around as they shouldn't be moved. Because if you have a timeline already, you want everything to stay in place, right? But for this, I'm going to delete the linking between track 1 and 2, so that for each time I delete a layer on track number 1, the next layer will just follow back into place, which makes the workflow a little bit faster. So now that we have a new clip under the transition layer B, what you can do now is to decide how fast you want the pump transition to be, or the zoom transition. So we can actually scrub through the transition B layer here and find a point where we want the next transition to start again. So this is going to be the A layer, which is coming back into this place. If you want this to go extremely fast, you cut away a bigger portion of the transition B layer. If you just want it to go at a normal speed, you just leave it as it is. So for this, we're just going to cut away a tiny portion of the transition B layer just to make it a little bit more seamless and a little bit faster, so it flows into the next clip. The next step is to duplicate or multi-select and copy the two transitions. For this, to begin with, I'm gonna just select the transition layer A and then duplicate that and place it after the transition layer B. I'm also going to do that with the transition layer B and place this after the transition layer A. So now we have A and B and A and B. Now, like I said, we needed to keep an additional copy of the photo, which is on track number 1. This is because it's going to transition out from the B layer and then into the A layer again. So now we can take the playhead in between the transition A and B and then make a cut to the clip underneath. So now after making the cut, we can delete the third part of the photo, which is on track number 1. As we can see, we have 3 different parts here with different durations, but we only need to keep 2, which is on the transition part B and A. So deleting this, the next one will jump straight into place underneath the transition layer B. This is the same process that we're going to do throughout the sequence here. So we're now going to multi-select the transition part A and B and choose copy from the clipboard and paste after the transition layer B. The next step is to go to each cut in between the transition layer A and B and then make an additional cut to the layer underneath, whether that is a video or a photo. Now after doing that, we can delete the third part of the photo again. And as you can see here, we have all the photos stacked under the transition layer B and A instead of A and B. And that is what we're also going to do for the remaining parts here. So for every B transition layer that we get to, we're going to have a new set of photo starting from the B, going over to A, and then once we have the transition B start again, then we're going to have a new photo or a new video. Now, since I'm running out of photos here, I'm going to multi-select all the parts of the photos which is matching the duration of the transition above. Then select the clipboard and copy, go to the end of the photo layer which is on track number 1. Then go to the clipboard and choose paste. Now I'll have a new set of photos applied to the timeline which has the same duration. That means I can multi-select all of the transition layers here and then go to the end of the transition layer B, which is the last one, and then choose the clipboard and paste. Now we'll have a full set of transitions applied to the timeline. The next step is to just delete the last A and B part, because the B part of the transition layers is always going to be the last transition that you apply to your sequence. So now that we've done that, we're just going to take the last photo and we're just going to stretch it out to make it a little bit longer so we have an ending to our sequence. So now our sequence will look like this. We have all the A and B transitions above, and we also need to make an additional cut here at the beginning. So we have the first clip or a part of the first clip matching the transition A here. Now the last step is going to be to copy the keyframes from the transition A layer to the photo or video which is underneath. And we're going to do the same thing with the transition B layer, copy the keyframes from the B layer and then paste those to the clip underneath. And we're going to do this with every single clip here on the timeline which we want to apply a transition to. Now a pro tip here is to use a keyboard if you have, because you can just use Command C to copy, select the bottom clip and choose Command V to paste. Now if you don't have a keyboard, you can select the transition layer A and copy everything from that and then paste on all the A layers before you move over to the B layers. So now that we pasted everything over to the A layers, we're going to select the B layer and do a copy of the keyframes and paste over to the clips which is underneath the B layer of the transition. Now after we've done that, there's only one thing to do, and that is to delete all the A and B layers which is on track number 2. So now we will have a more spiced up sequence which we can upload to our Instagram reel, which is not looking that static. Now the next step is to pump this full of music and overlays, light leaks to really spice it up and to really make it look better. This is individual though, this is something that I like to do. So I'm gonna apply a bunch of light leaks here and overlays, and the final result of this sequence will look like this. Now, if you want to see exactly how this looks on Instagram, make sure to head over to my Instagram down below and check out the exact same sequence here, which I just uploaded to Instagram. So make sure to head over to Instagram down below and check out the live version on Instagram on the Reels and see how it looks for yourself. And with that said, that's gonna be the end for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments section below, and I will see you in the next video.